Yeah. Hello, everyone. My name is Janelle Pope, and I am doing my presentation on AIDS. Where did it originate? Everyone here today has knowledge of HIV/AIDS, but no one seems to know where it originated. Well, I will share some facts and theories with you, and by the end of this presentation, hopefully you will determine where you believe it originated. As you all know, HIV is a virus that infects humans, and it reproduces itself by taking over the cell in the body of its host. HIV is like many other retroviruses, including those that cause the flu or the common cold, and it is said to be the cause of AIDS, a disease that destroys the immune system and causes a collection of symptoms and diseases. According to what you do? Okay, this. According to AIDS.gov, gay and bisexual men of all races are the most severely affected. 1 in 5 living with HIV are unaware that they are infected, and every 9.5 minutes someone in the U.S. is infected with HIV. Since the discovery of the virus, 1.7 million people in the U.S. have been infected, including over 619,000 who have already died. Today, more than 33.4 million people worldwide are infected, and more than 25 million people have died since the first case was reported. Well, according to serendipity.com, scientists believe that HIV came from a particular kind of chimpanzee found in Western Africa. They believe that HIV may have jumped from monkeys to humans as far back as the late 1800s. As a result, the green monkey theory was born. The green monkey theory is where they say that Western Africans ate infected chimpanzee meat and therefore contracted the virus. But that theory was proven wrong way back in 1988 by researchers. But AIDS educators today still promote it to the public. The documentary HIV Equals AIDS, Fact or Fraud provides alarming facts that suggest that HIV is not the cause of AIDS and that the virus has been around for centuries without harming anyone. That the epidemic did not begin in Africa. In fact, the AIDS epidemic in Africa did not begin until late 1982. So where did AIDS originate? In the mid-1960s, the government created the Special Virus Cancer Program, or SVCP, which included many of the nation's finest virologists, biochemists, immunologists, molecular biologists, and epidemiologists. The main mission of the program was to collect various human and animal cancers from around the world and to grow large amounts of cancer-causing viruses. As the SVCP was winding down, thousands of gay men were signing up as guinea pigs for government-sponsored hepatitis B vaccine experiments in New York, Los Angeles, and San Francisco. So was AIDS introduced into gays during these vaccine trials? AIDS first erupted in gays living in New York City in 1979, only a few months after the experiment began in Manhattan. 20% of the men who volunteered for the hepatitis B experiment in New York tested positive. Despite these facts, we are repeatedly told that AIDS began in Africa, even though the American epidemic began before the African epidemic. This explains how it got into the U.S., but how did AIDS make its way all the way across the globe, and why? There is documented evidence that the World Health Organization, under direction of the U.S. government, injected the smallpox vaccine laced with AIDS into millions of unsuspecting Africans. This is the same organization that normally injected syphilis into 400 African American men in 1932 in Tuskegee, Alabama. Again, you may ask why. Well, according to the Global 2000 report commissioned under the Jimmy Carter administration between 1971 and 1981, it blames virtually all the world's problems on population growth of people of color. The report recommended that 2 billion people be eliminated, quote unquote, by any means necessary by the year 2000. AIDS is not a gay or black disease, although it may have been created that way. Few people understand clearly that AIDS is a form of cancer. It was easier for them to blame gays for initiating this disease with their sexual lifestyle than it was to point the finger at scientists. If AIDS was connected to animal research, some people might wonder if the new disease had anything to do with all those species jumping experiments in the 1970s. Again, I ask, where did AIDS originate? We cannot continue to ignore the facts, and the facts clearly point towards a man-made disease inhumanely injected into innocent people. The individuals who knowingly did this want to keep us ignorant to the truth. They don't want us to look at the facts, but today it is time that we wake up because the facts are out there and they can't be denied. I recommend that everyone watch the documentary HIV Equals AIDS, Fact or Fraud, and do your research. I truly believe, according to the facts, that HIV has been around for centuries, that AIDS did not originate in Africa, and last but certainly not least, that AIDS was developed in a lab with the government's permission. Look at the facts and ask yourself, where did AIDS originate? Thank you.